Commute with So Wizard Podcast. Being that it's Thanksgiving this week, I thought I would do a special commute on the best Thanksgiving movies, and turns out there aren't any. Bye. Alright, before you send your corrections that there are a couple, Charlie Brown, which who wants to watch that above the age of 8, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which, granted, yeah, it's a fine movie. Okay. What I really want to talk about is Watchmen on HBO. The show has been pretty great all season. It's really well made. The shooting looks fantastic. Regina King as the lead, Angela Abar, does a phenomenal job walking the line between vigilante, cop, mother, and just an overall really well-rounded character. And the rest of the cast is also really strong, but so I don't talk for 45 minutes, I just wanted to kind of hone in on a couple things that have been happening recently on the show. In the most recent episode of Watchmen on the series, Angela swallows a bunch of these fabricated chemical memory pills that are dangerous to use for the person they were made for, and given that they were her grandfather's, not hers, there was a huge risk that this would scramble her brain. She also swallowed the entire bottle at once instead of just taking them one at a time like I guess you're supposed to relive that one memory or to help remember it. The majority of the episode takes place in the past, but also in something like a fever dream, where Angela is living as her grandfather, reliving his past and learning everything about him. And there are going to be some spoilers if you haven't caught on to that by now. Turn it off if you don't want spoilers for Watchmen the series. Yeah, I don't think it's going to wreck the show for you or anything, but people get sensitive about it, so there you go. Angela's grandfather was Hooded Justice. He's a very iconic character. If you have any pre-knowledge of Watchmen, you know who he is. If you don't, watch this episode and you'll know everything there is to know about him. His origin and everything was so well told and so well written that you believe it. You'd completely buy that this guy put on a mask and started fighting crime because of the injustices in his life. It also shows how the Minutemen get started, how he gets pulled in with them, and they even do things that, at first I thought it was something of a retcon, but as they explain it, it wasn't at all. It's as if this was the plan since this book was conceived decades ago. It's absolutely masterful. And as they're doing this episode in the past, which is primarily in black and white, partly because it's basically her tripping on nostalgia pills, and also to get the past in there, they do bring in glimpses of color when different memories are trying to force their way in when they don't necessarily belong. And they also do this really cool thing where, while you're following Angela's grandfather, every now and then, if she's looking in a mirror or the camera pans around, they have her face in there, and it never feels out of place, but it kind of catches you off guard a little bit because you're so into the story you're being told. And just as a standalone thing to watch, it's phenomenal. If they made one of these for each of the Minutemen, that would have been enough for a Minutemen series. You don't even need them all to team up and do something grand other than these interwoven things. Well, that's about it. I've just been thinking about that Watchmen episode all week. Thanks for taking this ride with me. Be sure to check out SoWizardPodcast.com for reviews, recommendations, merchandise, and more. Also, make sure you listen to So Wizard Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. So Wizard Podcast can be found on Patreon, where you can monetarily support the show for bonus content, and it really helps the main crew go to all these cons and give you great con coverage. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're working on new things all the time. We always have great con coverage from all the cons that we get to go to as press, which has been a lot of fun. We've been doing interviews and reaching out to other independent artists and creators, and there will be a lot more content coming. We love hearing feedback, so drop us a note in the comments or drop us a line on social media. All of our accounts can be found after the show. Thanks.